Hello YouTube, it's your girl Kimberly, and I am back with another video giving my 2 cents, even though nobody asked for it, but here it goes. I've been seeing a series of videos from TikTok that made it on Instagram and on YouTube about people basically saying this one little hair is getting on my nerves. People basically saying eyeshadow palettes are dead. Eyeshadow palettes are dead. Nobody cares about them anymore. Eyeshadow palettes are lame. Blah, 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 blah. That, to me, doesn't make sense. And I'm team eyeshadow palettes. But I do think there's an interesting phenomena that is happening right now, which is making people have a negative feeling towards eyeshadow palettes. So as you can see, I have my gorgeous eyeshadow on today. And I created this look with the Pat McGrath Celestial Nirvana holiday palette. So this is the one from this year, and here, it's very well loved, so you know, ignore the dips and divots, but these were the shades, and it has a mirror, so I won't blind you guys with that, but those are the shades. And what made this palette special compared to the other ones is you could see it's like a 6-pan color story. That's another palette, that's another palette, so it's almost like you get 3 palettes in one, which is why I love this palette. In terms of going on vacation and traveling when I'm doing my makeup, having especially a palette like this that has neutrals and brights, I can create all kind of looks. Smoky eyes, cut crease, natural, monochrome, like any kind of look I want to create, as long as I have my eyeshadow brushes and this palette and some concealer as primer, it will work out and I can make it happen. The idea that you don't like eyeshadow palettes, so what are you going to do? Have a whole bunch of singlet eyeshadows and then be trying to search through them and find which eyeshadow is which? Even if you deep hot the single eyeshadows, you're still going to put them in something else to make a palette, so it's still an eyeshadow palette. I think the issue of what people are mad about is that makeup companies' eyeshadow palette color stories are starting to become redundant. Love Auntie Pat McGrath, but she released yet another pink eyeshadow palette. And I understand that with, especially right now, July 2023, we're having a Barbie moment. This movie's coming out, so there's a lot of emphasis on, especially the success of Charlotte Tilbury and the shade Pillow Talk. So everybody's gonna pink us to death until Christmas collections, and that's just the way it is. But yes, these palettes are redundant and they seem boring, but it's not the fault of the concept of the eyeshadow palette. It's that specific palette is just unoriginal, and don't buy that one. Yes, you still need eyeshadow palettes. My personal preference is to have one bold, colorful, over-the-top eyeshadow palette and then one kind of neutral eyeshadow palette, and then those two are the main two that I'm working with. The MAC Cosmetics with a C, sorry, New York accent. The MAC Cosmetics 15-pan warm palette is my favorite neutral palette, and then insert any Pat McGrath palette, and then that's going to be my favorite bold color palette. It gives you ease of use. You get to travel, you have multiple colors, you can do different options, you have shimmers, you have glitters, you have mattes, you have satins, you have metallics, you have duochrome. Like, I don't want to carry an individual. I know people love the ColourPop Super Shop eyeshadows, and people still depan those, or they buy little containers to try to hold multiple ones together. Like, you need options. Even for a monochromatic eye, like, how many times you're gonna wear that? You're gonna need multiple colors. You need an eyeshadow palette. So this whole idea that eyeshadow palettes are down, I don't believe it. I think that a lot of brands are just regurgitating. They're trying to ride the pink wave. They are not being inventive. They're getting boring. They're repeating themselves. So these eyeshadow palettes are not that exciting to look at. So I think that is the issue with eyeshadow palettes. It's not the vessel itself, but it's just how imaginative are the brands being creating them and designing them. I do think that eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadows and eyeshadow crowns are starting to make a comeback. So usually when you've been in the makeup game for this long, there's a ebb and flow of eyeshadow trends where it's like complicated, complex eyeshadow palettes with 88 colors, then it's simple, easy peasy eyeshadow sticks make it easy. So that's what I think's happening right now. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.